So long story short, we'll be watching the real reason Riot's MMO is set up for success. Yeah, realistically, there are a couple of reasons. First of all, the story is amazing. Second reason, we have a player base. We have a ton of players. Yeah, in comparison to other MMOs, like it's not even close, bro. Not by a long shot. Riot's MMO is going to be so fucking big because everyone will be coming from Legends of Runeterra, will be coming from League of Legends, Wild Rift, Valorant. It all falls under the Riot umbrella. So you know, we have a bit of a player base. So let's see what Necrid has to say about it. Let's go.
Well, I already made 4 MMO videos, and at the end of the last one I said that would be my last one. Because up until that point I was simply showing people what already exists.
Yep.
Going past that point would be pure theory crafting.
Unless?
But no one said I can't talk about something that people already talked about. Okay, not entirely. You see, a lot of people mention some good and big reasons why Riot's MMO is set up for success. I will repeat some of those points in this video. But the reason why I decided to talk about this topic as well is because as someone who has been with Riot Games for over a decade...
Over a decade, so yeah, he started from the Season 1. I'd say that's Season 1, bro. I'm about to hit a decade in a couple of months, yeah. Since I started playing in Season 3, yeah, I'm about to hit a decade. Jesus Christ, am I old or what?
I know their patterns of behavior. I know their entire past when it comes to monetization, and that means all the good stuff and the bad stuff. I know their past when it comes to their game's success.
Also speaking of monetization, in one of the previous videos that we were doing, someone asked the question about the subscription. Yeah, is this going to be like World of Warcraft? My theory, my suggestion, yeah, is going to blind guess, but my idea is that's going to be free to play. Straight up is going to be free to play, but it will have some sort of in-store customizations like appearances and whatnot, like skins, maybe some mounts, maybe some dragons. I don't know, bro. Something visual, you know, something visual. But the game itself will be free to play. Look at Valorant, same example in there. You know, the game is free to play, but you can buy, you can spend money on the skins. League of Legends, the great success behind that game, monetary-wise, is the fact that the game is free to play, everyone can play it, but you can spend money on the skins. So I'm pretty sure the same model will be implemented in the MMO.
And I know what they do when things don't go well. And some of these points tell us a lot about how Riot's MMO is shaping up. On top of all of this, Canon had the exclusive interview with Ghostcrawler, where we got quite a few golden nuggets, which includes a line that pretty much tells us that, yeah, Riot is gonna go through with the MMO.
For those of you who don't know, Ghostcrawler is the big guy behind World of Warcraft. He was developing World of Warcraft when it was a successful game, not the hollow shell that we have right now of a game. And Ghostcrawler moved to Riot to work on League of Legends MMO. So you know, this guy knows what's up.
One of the nice things about Riot is we're not going to run out of money, right? I'm not going to have a publisher that's like, hey, if you got to ship by Christmas or we're canceled. Riot will cancel this game if the game isn't good enough. They're not going to cancel the game because it gets too expensive. And
that's kind of big brain, yeah, because this is exactly what happened to CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. Publishers were pushing CD Projekt Red to release the game, and CD Projekt Red said, boys, we need another year minimum to develop the game. And well, publishers said no, investors said no, we need a game right now. Yeah, release it right now. They released the game, and well, we all saw what happened in there, yeah. So at least Riot will not have that problem.
This sounds great. So, after combining all of this, suddenly I have a new topic to talk about. The real reason why Riot's MMO is set up for success. Let's start with all the things that we already know about. Perhaps the biggest reason for Riot being on the right path is already having a loyal following.
Yep.
When World of Warcraft launched for the first time, there were lines forming up around entire blocks. And why was that? Well, first of all, it's because digital purchasing was not a thing. But
that was one thing, and the other thing was that a lot of player base came from the other games like Warcraft. Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, Reigns of Chaos, Frozen Throne, so basically a lot of a player base already was in there. So when they released the world, everyone was jumping in. So this is exactly my same theory what's going to happen in here. We have the worlds of Riot MMO, yeah? And everyone is coming from League of Legends, World of Runeterra, the card game, Valorant, also cherry on top, Arcane. Yeah, don't forget Arcane. Legends of Runeterra, there we go, yeah, that's the one, thank you.
More importantly, because people knew the Warcraft universe from the other games. And they knew Blizzard as a great developer.
Yep,
of course, Riot is riding the same wave. Hopefully with a different destination. People know League's universe from League of Legends.
Yep.
And Riot is essentially where Blizzard used to be. They are known for their great games, exactly as Blizzard used to be. They are known for taking a game idea, polishing it, and making it better than its inspiration.
For those of you who don't know, the original MOBA was developed in the Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 had a free development game mode, so basically as a player you could create your own map. So what they did, they created top side, middle and bottom, yeah? They created 3 lanes, and they created the MOBA, yet Defense of the Ancient. Then came Valve and said, boys, we're buying that shit, we're making this into a Dota. Then came Riot and said, hey, that's a good idea, we'll make it the same thing, but better. And that's what happened. And then ever since, it's been almost 13 years. Hold on. Yeah, I'd say it's been almost 14 years. In development, I'd say 15 years. You might be asking how this game still survived. The main reason why the Riot's League of Legends survived is the element of change. I've said it before, it's in the Kazakh's quote. Change is good. If you balance everything out, the game will become boring in a period of 2 months. Because nothing will change. Yeah, everything will stay exactly the same. But what Riot did is they are changing. Minimum adjustments. Buff that, nerf that, remove that, add that, yeah? With every patch, the game is slightly changing. It's still the same game, but it's different. And that's the reason behind League of Legends success. Esports kinda carry too. Yeah, true that. The scene is huge.
Exactly as Blizzard used to be. Speaking of which, if you're a fan of MMOs and you don't know much about Riot games, you might be surprised to see all the successful games they have released. Of course, League of Legends launched as the better, simpler version of the Dota mod from Warcraft 3.
Yep.
Nearly 10 years later, Riot launched their second game, Teamfight Tactics, which was a new version of the auto chess from Dota 2. And once again, using characters people already know and love from League, Teamfight Tactics dominated its competition. And
now imagine yourself in the position of Dota, in the position of Valve. You create a game, it's amazing, it's a great success, and then comes in Riot and says, yeah, this is my homework, yeah. Can I copy your homework? Yeah, sure, just I'll make it too obvious, you know? And then Riot is making the same thing, but better. God bless Riot.
And it now remains as the only big and still growing auto chess game on the market. Then we got the third game, a card game using League's characters called Legends of Runeterra. From all of the Riot's games, Legends of Runeterra is the only game that didn't fully dominate its game genre. That's because card games already have a very narrow audience.
Yep.
And digital card games slowed down their growth. But on top of that, it is hard to pull someone away from their card game if they already spent money on it. However, despite that, Legends of Runeterra still managed to match Hearthstone. So these two are still battling for dominance, with the other card games being very close. After this we got Valorant, a new player-friendly version of Counter-Strike. Or at least new player-friendly compared to Counter-Strike.
Back to the same idea. Valve has Counter-Strike, CSGO. Well, actually 1.5, 1.6 Source, and then CSGO. Then comes in Riot says, I'll take that. Yeah, thank you, I'll take that. There we go, we got Valorant.
Which is also using iconic characters for marketing. Even this game managed to dominate the tactical shooter genre. And now it is doubling the numbers of their two main competitors, Rainbow Six Siege and Counter-Strike. But then, after Valorant, Riot went back to MOBAs. They looked at Mobile Legends Bang Bang. That's the real name, by the way. They realized it was essentially a League of Legends on mobile. Yep. And they realized, why don't we do that?
Exactly.
But better. Exactly. And so Riot released League of Legends Wild Rift, a mobile version of League of Legends.
I swear to God that they say it's difficult to start a business. No, it's f***ing easy to start a business. You just yoink an idea and make it better. That's it. Hey, $1 billion idea, yeah? Create Amazon, but better. You're welcome, yeah. You're welcome, chat.
Which in many ways could be regarded as even better than League of Legends on PC. I mean,
Cap?
look at all those polygons. That's
Okay, fair
running
enough.
on a phone. On top of that, even though it is a mobile game, it is using fairly standard monetization. And right now, while Wild Rift is dominating in the West, Mobile Legends Bang Bang is still dominating in the East in some countries. So Riot is currently in the process of dominating the game genre. But Riot did not end here. They recognized that people wanted to play more games with their League of Legends characters. And so they launched Riot Forge, a smaller publishing studio that is working with indie developers to make games with their IP.
Oh yeah, there was the Ruination, yeah. The Ruination event. That was the RPG, basically like a Diablo-looking game. Also, yeah, back to the same subject, yeah. Straight up RPG, the view from the top side. Straight up a Diablo, but in League of Legends. Diablo was from Blizzard. Riot had it again.
And here we already got two games. Hextech Mayhem is a League of Legends spin on the rhythm-based Bitrunner, a 30-minute game which I have about 10 hours in, and Ruined King, which is about 40-hour-long RPG that is telling a canon story from the universe. Also, you can find me here.
You may simply call me Necrit.
That's me!
Aww.
But in 2023 we are also expecting two more games. Song of Nunu, which seems to be an adventure platformer taking place in the harsh Freljord, and Convergence, a 2D action platformer in Piltover that seems to be lining up really well with Arcane 2. Both
Very
of these
nice.
games were delayed from 2022 to 2023.
Also there is Project L, basically a Mortal Kombat, but in League of Legends.
Because, guess what? No, it's not crunch time. It's because Riot Games actually care about their games. With the two already released Riot Forge titles scoring 80% and 90% of overall positive feedback.
Not bad.
So, the takeaway from this is, yes, Riot has a history of nearly flawless game releases. They have not seriously flopped yet. And their monetization practices are not too far away from this. In Canon's interview, Ghostcrawler straight up mentioned they will not sell player power.
We're not going to do pay to win. We're not going to do pay to power. I'm pretty confident saying that.
Nice.
What
Wow,
the
that's
business
big. That's a big one.
I probably said that, or a lot of players that say that. It's just
Sure,
not Riot's style.
Right.
We really want players to feel like they're welcome back in the game at any time. And yeah, if life is rough right now and you're between jobs or you just can't, you can't pay for the subscription, I'd rather them not churn out rather than be able to keep playing. So that's why Riot has traditionally liked free-to-play with purely cosmetic purchases.
Called it. Yep. You heard it here first. Yeah.
As you heard, Ghostcrawler didn't even approach it as big news. He just casually dropped this piece of info because that's a given at Riot Games.
Yep.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. In the past, some other developers from some other studios said they wouldn't do it.
Fucking Blizzard.
Until the moment they did it. So what makes this different for Ghostcrawler? Well,
Also, yeah, on the subject of Diablo Immortal, it was not pay to win. Because in pay to win, you pay and you win. In Diablo Immortal, you pay and you don't win. So technically it's not pay to win, I'm just saying.
you see, this is simply how Riot operates. And if you need a proof, look no further than Riot's future game known as Project L. Project L is a
that's the
league-based
one.
fighting game, and Riot is making sure the fighting game genre is yet another genre dominated by Riot Games. And in their latest dev update, they mentioned the exact same thing.
We want you to be able to play no matter where you live, what your skill level is, or how much money you have to spend on a game. To that, I'm happy to confirm that Project L will be free to play.
Nice.
If you've played a Riot game before, this probably won't come as a surprise. Our team is made up of fighting game veterans and folks who are passionate about serving the FGC. And we operate with one approach. If we wouldn't like it, we won't do it. When it comes to monetization, we promise to be respectful of both your time and your wallet.
Respectful of both your time and wallet. Theoretically, this doesn't exclude buying power. Anyway, what this means is that Project L will most likely run exactly like League of Legends. You play the game for free to unlock fighters, but you can also buy them directly. Now, because...
And skins. Definitely they will include skins. Definitely. Not even questioning that.
Because they mentioned that they will be respectful of your time, hopefully the grind won't be that awful. I assume it will be something similar to Valorant, where you can unlock each new character every week. Not one character per month, as some games are doing it now.
Overwatch 2, yeah, I mean, I've read an article that said if you want to unlock absolutely everything that's unlockable in the Overwatch 2 right now, you need to be playing over 200 years. So yeah, let's keep that in mind, yeah. Good job, Blizzard, keep at it.
I mean, it's the same studio, they can just pass over the numbers and see what worked. And because they mentioned your wallet, I assume the skins won't be as pricey as Valorant. Speaking of which, let's talk about the overall monetization at Riot Games and what it means for Riot's MMO. Besides the indie titles, which are standalone games, every Riot game is a free-to-play game, which run on skins and time-saving monetizations.
Yep.
Now, when I say time-saving monetizations,
He means the experience boost that you can get in League of Legends. That's one example. You buy experience boost, let's say double the experience. So instead of grinding your level from level 1 to level 30 to play ranked games, it's in 2 weeks you can buy that experience boost. You can play twice as less games that you need, and there you go, you're at level 30.
you may jump to the conclusion that even time saving is indirectly buying power. However, that really depends on what you are buying, and in Riot's case, I can confirm it is not pay to win.
Nope.
But before we get to that, let's quickly talk about the skins. In League, Riot struck a good balance, with most champion skins being between 5 and 10 bucks, with the vast majority of them having unique spell effects. And occasionally you can buy the massive 20 bucks skins, which change up the entire animations of the champions.
Also, you can buy a couple of skins that are kinda banned in the pro scene because they are literally paid to win. Feel like it's Star Guardian, no, not Star Guardian Lux, I feel like it's Steel Legion Lux. Probably Steel Legion Lux is one of those skins. Also, there is a Synergy skin that basically whenever you shoot an ability, it's very difficult to see for your opponents your ability, so they will not see what hit them.
All of that is fairly standard, nothing crazy here. But I have to say, as I mentioned in my last video, it seems like Riot is shifting their focus away from League. But while their focus is going to the other projects, they have to keep the monetization going.
Yep.
So these days, League is actually getting less gameplay content than we did a few years ago. But we are still getting the same amount of skins.
And sadly, we're not getting a winter skin map. Sadly.
This means that because the vast majority of the content is skins these days, it seems like skins are dominating everything else.
Yep.
And I find it funny that you can connect this to what Ghostcrawler said in the interview about monetization.
To look at League of Legends, for example, if we stopped making champions and just kept making skins, at some point players are like, well, this kind of sucks. You're only focused on the money-making side of the game. So you need to do both. You need to make sure the game balance is good. You need to update everything that you can in order for players to feel good about it.
Yes, it kind
But see, the thing is that Riot themselves already said that they will reach a cap of the champions. I feel like it's going to be 200 something. Once they reach that number of champions, they will stop making new champions. So at that point, they'll be chilling only with the new skins instead of the champs and the balance, of course. But hopefully by that time, the Riot MMO is going to be released already, so they can they'll be able to transition all of their money making from League of Legends to Riot MMO.
Kinda feels like League is in this situation right now. In Teamfight Tactics, you can do the same thing. You can buy a skin for a little commander on the battlefield which you control, which is called Little Legend. These are always on the cheaper side, with some more expensive alternatives which also have unique execute animations when you defeat an enemy. However, every Little Legend also has a legendary variation, which you can only get from eggs. And eggs are essentially loot boxes. And the amazing thing is, the TFT team realized that these loot boxes are bad. And after their first year, they allowed you to buy any Little Legend directly. Of course, it is possible that government with their anti-gambling pressured them into this.
Makes
sense. But as far as we know, there were no lawsuits and they did it themselves. And since people trust them on this, if anything, it shows you their reputation.
I mean, we can look at the same example of Blizzard that got absolutely f***ed over in the Overwatch with the surprise boxes, the surprise mechanics. Yeah, they called those surprise, not gambling. That was not gambling, but they called it surprise mechanics with those loot boxes because everything was random. So I guess Riot what did is they noticed that, well, Blizzard is getting f***ed over again. So how about we do the same thing but better when it comes down to another thing stealing from Blizzard. And what they did, they implemented the idea of allowing you to buy the little legends directly.
TFT also offers their Battle Pass, which to this day has perhaps the best value out of any pass in any game. However, Teamfight Tactics also has the Arena skins. Because these are a massive chunk of landscape, of course they are a bit pricier than normal models. But the unfortunate part is that sometimes they also offer the legendary arenas, which go for up to $200.
What?
And I say up to because these arenas are a randomized drop.
Oh,
it is
RNG,
guaranteed
okay.
to drop from egg number 60, which is around the $200 mark. But since you can get it earlier, you are essentially rolling for a discount. When Riot first announced this, I was shocked. I simply didn't expect it. But then, Mordog, the lead TFT developer, talked about it on his stream. And I realized I was wrong. Because TFT is so free to play, by which I mean you can't go more free to play without giving people money back. I mean, while in other games you grind for new characters or something like that. From the moment you log into TFT, everything is unlocked and you get the full experience.
Yep.
Even in League, that's not the case.
Sadly.
Because of that, he mentioned that there are people who want to spend money on TFT, but they can't. Because in this game, you only have one little legend, so you technically only need one skin. Once you have the one skin you like, you don't need anything else. So, the team wanted to give the whales some food to support the game. And if you still feel like this was a greedy move, just listen to what Mordog has to say about it. For context, he is gonna mention Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa is one of the $200 skins.
Obviously, TFT has to make money to succeed, right? And so we have these expensive cosmetics that people want. That being said, if you don't have money, it can feel left out, and I agree with you. So typically what you have to do is you have to look for the opportunities to find something kind of comparable, and there will be opportunities. You're not going to be able to get everything, but for example, during events, there's going to be ones that are more accessible. You might get lucky and get one during an egg. It's also the kind of thing where, like, let's say you really like Dragon Chibimancer Kai'Sa. Who knows, in 2 years it may come back in a thing that's a promotion and be a little easier to get, you know, as time goes on. You never know, and so you have to find your moment where you can get the thing you enjoy, rather than, you know, you have to have the new now. And unfortunately, like a lot of things in life, money counts and it sucks when you don't have money. It really does, and I know that. I've been there. So that's my honest answer. Hopefully that was genuine enough.
I have
Basically what they did with the prestige skins. Straight up in League of Legends, this is what they did with the prestige skins. Instead of keeping them exclusive to that moment when you can buy them, when you can farm during the event, you can farm the currency, the tokens during the event and get that skin. Now those skins are back on the menu. Because some people like them, you know, and then some people will spend the money. Of course, yeah, Riot is generating more money because new people, more people are buying those skins. But at the same time, it kills the value of the original prestige skin because it was supposed to be exclusive, and apparently it's not very exclusive anymore. So, you know, it's a bit of a double-edged sword in here.
never seen a dev so open about a massive, almost corporate level game. But yes, if anything, this shows you that Riot is trying to be fair about their prices. Lastly, when it comes to skins, we have to mention Valorant. Because Valorant is perhaps their most aggressive monetization. There, a normal recolor of a gun is about $10,
Jesus.
with a full new model going for about 20. On top of that, melee weapons, so for example knives, are double the price. So, for a unique model on a knife, that would be $40. And
Hell,
on
bro.
top of that, sometimes you get bundles of special weapons with unique finishers that go for up to $100. The logic behind this pricing is that for each gun you are only going to buy one skin. So once you buy a skin, you are unlikely to get another one. There is no gambling involved anywhere around Valorant.
Hold up, now just wait a second. Yeah, so let's imagine a scenario where there's a basic weapon. Yeah, let's take this gun. There's a default skin for it. Okay, there are free skins in the shop. The idea is that I buy the skin that I like the most, and cool, that's it, I have that skin. But, hear me out, what if in a period of 6 months, 12 months, you release a new skin, which is better, and is exactly for the same price, which I like more, then I am actually spending even more money. So you cannot shill me this idea that, you know, well, you have one skin, it should be enough. Fuck no, bro, if you give me a new skin, which is better, which I like more, I'll get the new skin.
It is very much unlike Counter-Strike. So at least the monetization is not predatory per se.
True.
That said, it is still pretty high. Now that was all the notable skin monetization. It's fairly standard and sometimes the prices can go higher. However, remember, we are still talking about purely free-to-play games. So, let's talk about the potential pay-to-win. For Riot, the worst offender of this could be skipping grinds and buying characters. We can find this in League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, and Valorant. In Legends of Runeterra you can buy cards,
Yep.
but no one ever does that because the game gives you so many free cards you really don't have to do anything. In fact, the game is notoriously so fair it is struggling to make money. In Valorant you can unlock a new character every week if you really grind. Realistically, it is a new character every 2 weeks. And in League you can buy champions directly, which could have been translated into power in the past. However, unlike in Overwatch, where picking heroes in the middle of the game can decide the game, and where the game is balanced around counterpicking, in League, that's not really the case anymore. A few years back, the game was balanced around hard counterpicking being a thing. But these days, Riot is trying to make sure that's not a thing for a very obvious reason. Unlike in Overwatch, in League you lock in your champion for an entire game. So if you get hard counterpicked, you are not gonna have fun for the next 30 minutes. To combat this, Riot is slowly removing hard counterpicks from the game. And now you may have a slight advantage, but in general any champion can win against any champion.
Yeah, I'm looking at the prime example in the bot lane. You are picking ADC Vayne. Enemy ADC is picking Caitlyn and Xerath support, yeah? Best of luck, bro, you've just been countered to infinity. There's nothing you can do as Vayne. That's it. So, you know, yeah, even though the idea is kinda nice of removing the hard counters, one of them was removal of silence from LeBlanc, which I'm still salty about, because there was absolutely no counter to that, so they removed that, so it is what it is. But, you know, yeah, it kinda makes sense. Now that you think about durability patch, now that you think about tankiness patch, you cannot get countered in 1 second because you are tanky right now, because everything has durability patch applied, so you'll be countered in 5 seconds. So, you know, it doesn't feel like an instant counter. It feels still a bitch to play against, but at least you have some room to survive, you know? Still, my opinion, bro, durability patch was dog shit. Anyway.
Because of this, if you look at the players at the very top of the ladder, you may realize that all of them are playing one champion. So in League, if you buy a champion, you don't buy power, because owning other champion won't affect how your game is going. But you buy the option to try out other characters. With that said, I should mention that League currently has over 160 champions, and the game is giving you a lot of champions for free to compensate. And again, it is free to play. But there is one more thing I need to mention. While Riot is built on a strictly not pay-to-win monetization, there was a time when you could buy power. This dark age will scare even the most powerful veteran players.
Okay, now that's a quiz, bro. No, that's a quiz without spoilers. What are we talking about? I have 2 options. Straight up, I have 2 options. Option number uno. Whenever back in the day they were releasing OP champs. Yeah, because bro, what drives the sales of a new champ? It has to be OP, everyone wants to play it. If the champ is not OP, no one is interested in playing it. So the sales you will not generate revenue from the sales. So you mark up the price of that new champ. For example, bro, Aatrox when he was released, bro, he got nerfed 6 times, I believe so. He was fucking busted. Everyone was playing Aatrox. So that's one thing with the champs. The other thing are the runes. Yeah, back in the day, chat, we had the runes. Now what we have with the keystones, we have runes in here. Yeah, let's for example take this. That's it. You already have everything, and you can select. Yeah, you need magic resist, sure, go magic resist in here. You need armor, you go armor. You need attack speed, you go attack speed. You know, you have everything. But back in the day when we started playing, we had a different set of runes where you would buy a page of the runes. Hold on, maybe I can find the picture of those runes. There we go. There it is, bro. There it is. You would get, that's a page. Yeah, that's literally a rune page. Why it's a page? Because it's actually a page from the book. So that's where you get the page, rune page name. Yeah, because it was actually a page in the book. And these, you had the 3 major runes. Yeah, 3 major runes. You had the red runes, you had the yellow runes, you had the blue runes. Each of these runes had 3 tiers. So at level 10, you can, your account was capped at level 30. Right now, when you see a Yasuo main with the level 587, ain't shit. No, it ain't shit, it's classic. Back in the day, we had the level cap of level 30 on League of Legends account. So you would unlock the tier 1 of the runes at level 10. Level 20, tier 2. Level 30, tier 3. Yeah, that makes sense. Kinda easy to understand, yeah? And each tier is better than the other. So for example, yeah, just straight up for example. Tier 1, major rune, would give you 3 AD. Tier 2 would give you 5 AD. Tier 3 would give you 8 AD. Yeah? Each tier is better than the other. And the moment you reach a certain level, let's say you're going from level 10 to level 20, you could buy these runes with RP. Yeah? So you can buy out literally the best that you have right now. You can buy out the best runes, and I shit you not, there were hundreds of runes, straight up hundreds. You had extra gold, you had extra experience per minute, you had magic resist, everything that magic resist per level, bro. Lifesteal, crit strike, name any single attribute in the game, we fucking had it. There was a rune for it. So the classic strategy was to go full AD and 1%, yeah, in the crit runes, in the red runes, you would go 1% crit strike. So when you would pick Tryndamere, that would be kinda bullshit. Because your Q is already proccing with that. And then you have, at level 1, without any rage, you would slap a crit, bro. No one would expect that. That was goddamn amazing. But these runes had a price. Now let's see if we are correct.
Of course, I'm talking about runes.
Yep.
Yeah, for the first 7 years in League's history up until 2017, besides buying champions with the in-game currency, you also had to buy runes.
Look at that, health regen per 5 per level, yeah? So which means your health regen per 5 seconds would also increase. Like bro, any single stat you can think about, we had it in the runes. That was f***ing insane.
Runes were basically sockets. They gave you tiny bonuses like 0.1 attack damage or 1% crit. Of course, 1% crit was ridiculously overpowered, because all you needed was that one rune that gave you 1% crit chance. Because by default, everyone had 0. So in the early fights, what would happen if you had the tiny chance to win the lottery and crit them? Well, you would essentially decide the early fights. So of course, everyone always had at least one 1% crit rune.
True.
Anyway, the problem with these was that you needed a lot of runes to fill a rune page, with one full rune page being equivalent to one champion of the highest cost. But also, you couldn't customize the page before each game started. You had to set them up ahead of time, and then when you were picking champions, you would lock in one of the pages.
Yeah, true that. I forgot that was a thing, but basically everyone would have around 20 rune pages. So instead of buying 20 champions, you would have 20 different rune pages and you would select what was the best, because you couldn't, well, as Secret explained, you couldn't adjust them in the lobby.
By default, the game gave you 3 rune pages. So usually you would set up one for attack damage, one for ability power, and one for tanking.
Yep.
But what if you wanted to play a support who needs mana regeneration? Well, you had to buy an extra page, with each new page costing the value of yet another new champion. Or $5. Basically, this would be equivalent to buying dual spec in WoW, except you could buy it with real money, and you needed it 5 times. So what did Riot do? Did they lower the price to make the system a bit more fair? No, they removed it entirely, because pay to win is not what Riot does. The reason why it was in the game in the first place is because it was an idea from 2009. Back then they didn't even know how they wanted to monetize their game. So they were trying out random things. Anyway, as you can see, even when Riot gets close to pay to win, they always steer away from it. They know how bad the impact can be. And their normal monetization formulas are working, so why would they damage it? Now, this entire time I pretty much talked about things that everyone else talked about as well. The 3 big factors steering the course of Riot's MMO. Number 1 being people attracted to the IP. Number 2 being monetization that is nearly guaranteed to be fair. And number 3 being the fact that Ghostcrawler mentioned that the team working on Riot's MMO is stacked. Anyway, besides these 3 points, there is also a hidden 4th one. And it's a big reason why Riot's MMO is set up for success. And I'm not joking. It's something no one talked about because everyone is focused on the gameplay.
Competition. My money would be on competition. Because competition right now is, let's just say, close to non-existent. What do we have in the MMO world? World of Warcraft, New World, Lost Ark, Final Fantasy. That's it to my knowledge, no? That's it. We don't have any big games. So, you know, and people been playing these games for the past 14 years. So, you know, players, the MMO veterans want a new game, something new that actually will stick around and will be a good game.
But I strongly believe this one might affect how Riot's MMO rolls out. You see, League has been selling skins for 13 years now. That is 13 years of gathered data. Data which can be applied to the MMO. They know what skins sell and what don't. They know which aesthetics are appealing and which are not. But most importantly, they have skin lines in League that people love. And these could be ported over to the MMO.
That'll be so fucking badass. Imagine you could change your armor, how your armor looks like. And you might be thinking, oh my god, Star Guardian, kawaii bullshit, you know, I want a Chad Warrior. Yeah, hear me out. High Noon. Not Star Guardian, the Star Nemesis. Bro, think of the evil ones. Night Crime City. Hey, think of those. Think of those, that's going to be badass. And if you can change the visual appearance of your armor without changing the stats, holy shit, bro. That's going to be easy money.
Now, if you don't play League and you don't know what I'm talking about, let me explain. Instead of just giving random champions random skins, Riot likes to connect skins together and make them part of the same alternative world.
Yep.
For example, there is the High Noon alternative universe.
There we go.
And champions who share the same High Noon skin can be cowboys, clockwork angels, demons from the Wild West, and people corrupted by demons. They all share the same thematic, and together, they make up an aesthetic that people get attached to.
Yep.
So what happened over the years is that Riot made skin lines that people love. And every time a new skin from that skin line is released, it is an instant success. And of course what they can do is that they can take these successful skin lines and sell them as Transmog in the MMO.
Yeah, that's
if you
what I'm talking
consider
about.
the fact that they have 13 years of customer data about purchasing skins, they are set up for success if they decide to sell premium Transmog. Because they know what Transmog is gonna be popular. What's even cooler is that even though they didn't give us the exact order, Riot confirmed 5 of their most popular skin lines. So now, let me show you what might potentially appear in the in-game shop.
Okay, chat. Project. Okay, the spoiler alert. That is project. Yeah, project will appear. That's a fact. We need 4 more. Yeah, he said 5. We need 4 more. We have project. High Noon, obviously. Star Guardian. No, the Star Guardian. The evil Star Guardian. What's the evil Star Guardian? KDA. Yeah, KDA. That could be an angle. I'd say Star Guardian. Also an option. Project mod. Yeah. Project already. Nemesis. Yeah, the Nemesis, but Shiko has that one. Give me a second. Darkstar. There we go. Darkstar. Not the Nemesis. Darkstar. That skin line also borderline amazing. What else? Hextech? Not sure. I'm definitely not sure about Hextech because Hextech is exclusive. Pool Party or Spirit Blossom. Ooh, Pool Party, yeah, actually Pool Party. Imagine the amount of Uwu simps that will play Vastaya, someone like Ari, and they will give her a Pool Party skin. Realistically, that's how we make the money. You know, that's how we make the money.
Again, there is no particular order, but first there is the project skin line.
Yep.
This one is an absolute classic. It is a futuristic skin line with energy, blades and guns,
Cyberpunk.
as well as some really deadly robots. Next there is KDA.
Yep.
The success of this skin line is driven by the popularity of their virtual K-pop band. The songs were a massive hit, and of course these skins were too. So
also, we're still waiting for KDA Gragas, yeah? Justice for KDA Gragas.
this one seems like easy money, though
Yep.
I'm not sure how my Freljordian Barbarian is going to be wearing one of these. Next, there is also Darkstar.
There we
a
go,
skin
that's the
line
one.
around dark cosmic entities that are destroying worlds. The vast majority of these skins are stunning. And I have to point out that Darkstar Jin is one of the best-selling skins in the history of League.
God
Then we
damn.
also have Spirit Blossom, a skin line
Yep.
released with an awesome visual novel inside League of Legends. This one is themed around Eastern legends. However, this skin line is also unique, because this skin line portrays mythical stories that Ionians believe in the canon universe. So in a way, these skins are canon. It's just that the champions are not themselves as champions, they are portraying the mythical stories.
If Ari got a Pool Party, I think the game will change genre. XDDDD. See, I'm not sure if you were in here when we were talking about the idea of Riot yoinking all of the ideas from Blizzard. How do you think Overwatch is alive? Bro. How do you think all those new polygons are being invested in the female characters? Why do you think is that? So I swear to God, Riot is going to steal that idea as well. Weird art, I think. Exactly. So, you know, if you give Ari a Pool Party skin, bro, you're getting extra free exposure on certain websites, you know?
And lastly, there is the Star Guardian skin line.
Yep,
What originally started as a Sailor Moon knockoff eventually became its own universe with some very cool stories. The Star Guardian universe is perhaps the most popular one, with Star Guardian Jinx also being one of the best-selling skins ever.
Sims.
So this one would be an easy moneymaker too. But this time we have two male champions here, although it would still probably look weird on my Barbarian. But that is it for all the things I wanted to talk about. There was one more point, however, that point kinda crumbled. You see, I wanted to mention that while Riot Games is running their games in the West, in the East it was ran by Garina. Which meant that as the West had their normal monetization, Garina could use the Eastern monetization in the East. And
Not anymore, yeah. It was, I feel like last week the news were announced that Garina is, Riot is cutting ties with Garina, Riot will be operating in the East. Let's just say I am excited for Filipino server opening up in the East, because those are more toxic than East server, yeah? Let's just say I'll be playing in the Asian servers. That shit will be amazing.
and the two basically had their own ecosystems. However, a few weeks ago,
Yep.
Riot just cut off Garina entirely, and they decided to operate League of Legends in the East themselves. What's funny is that Blizzard kinda tried to do the same thing, but Blizzard is not able to run their own games in the East. So while they also cut off their own Chinese publisher, because they can't publish it themselves, WoW is just gone. Anyway, what I wanted to mention originally is that because there is the West and East, because in the East players are more friendly towards pay to win, Riot can now operate two different ecosystems themselves. And so, even though I'm not really sure if this still holds up because they are no longer ran by Garina in the East, I still believe that Riot can run separate monetization in separate regions, because now they are controlling everything themselves. So who knows, maybe there will be pay to win, but that pay to win will only be in the East. I believe that's how Lost Ark is being handled, but I could be wrong, maybe the chances are the same everywhere. Anyway, Riot's MMO seems to be shaping up really well.
Yep.
That is probably because the people behind it seem to know what they are doing, their player base is ready to try out anything, and should we actually get a good game, their monetization is ready to shoot it up into the stratosphere.
So yeah, basically, long story short, they are ready on every single important pillar, yeah? Everything is Gucci. Lord knows, well, not everything is Gucci, yeah? There's only one question remains. The servers, yeah? The capacity of servers during the launch. And the first week, maybe a couple of weeks at the beginning. Because with every new MMORPG launch, it's a disaster, always. It's a fucking disaster. The servers are crashing, there are queues of 50,000 people and whatnot. So let's just say the only massive challenge Riot will have is the server capacity.
There was also that time they were trying to sell achievements, like not achievement unlocks. You had to pay to access achievements, which was then followed by a separate version of the achievements which was totally free, so we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, that also happened.